What is the vision of the UC Davis Alzheimer's Disease Center? It is a life of cognitive health for all. The UC Davis Alzheimer's Disease Research Center is uniquely poised in the country to contribute to a number of areas of cutting-edge research. The first is our expertise in community-based diverse population research. So we are doing population science. By that I mean we are taking individuals in the community, understanding them deeply, so that we can then take that information and generalize it to the entire population. What makes the population in Sacramento unique is that it is fully representative of the diversity of our country, both in race, ethnicity, but also in age. It spans the whole age range, which allows us to research from middle age on to the very oldest, and allow us enable us with any finding to generalize that. So that's the first thing that's important. The second is that we have cutting edge technology, and we use that technology to characterize each of our individuals who are participants in our study. And we use very sophisticated technology to understand from molecules to social behavior. And finally, we have a team that is just superb. This team works together, we're integrated, we're collegial, and we bring together unique ideas and make it work on a daily basis. Another aspect of the UC Davis Alzheimer's Disease Center that's quite unique is that we move from molecules to memory. We span the entire basic science and clinical science realms with our faculty and research.
The Alzheimer's Disease Center I see as being a role model for the kind of program we want to develop in all areas of neurology. It combines exceptional clinical care with cutting-edge basic and clinical research. It is a multi-departmental and even multi-institutional program that involves not only neurology, but many of the basic science departments, pathology, geriatrics. We're building a whole clinical program around healthy aging, and with which the ADRC is going to be a very important clinical contributor. But then we're also learning about the mechanisms that cause Alzheimer's, developing new treatments for Alzheimer's, and looking at important things like how Alzheimer's care is delivered in underrepresented populations. So health disparities research is a big part of what the ADRC does. And that's what I want to see all of our programs be able to do, really make that combination of looking at all of the different important aspects of research, as well as providing that clinical care and also advocacy, which is a big part of what the ADRC does. A lot of what we aspire to do in terms of these innovative therapies, more research, developing the next generation of subspecialty neurologists and researchers is all things that we don't have current lines of funding for. So if we want to make this happen, we have to partner with the community and develop philanthropy and sources of support through that. One of the most important roles that endowed chairs play is to convince people like me and others that you want to consider changing positions. It's a competitive marketplace for physician scientists and physician investigators, and to get the best, you need to have resources that they will be able to utilize to advance their research and clinical missions. And endowed chairs really provide that for you. Once they're here, it really gives them the opportunity to engage in innovative research that might not yet be ready for NIH research funding. It gives them the opportunity to have time for really critical activities like educating the next generation of neurologists and neuroscience researchers. Those are core to the mission of what we do as academic neurologists, but they are not well funded, if funded at all. So the endowed chairs really give our most senior faculty the opportunity to engage in those very important missions.
From my standpoint, it's so critical to create an environment of learning and science that only can be given to us through philanthropy. Endowed professorships bring in the opportunity to be creative to do cutting-edge and innovative research and to propel and energize our center to be a leader in this country on Alzheimer's research and related dementias. What does it mean to have an endowed chair here at UC Davis? It's critically important. That gives two things. One, prestige. To have a named chair, it also raises the awareness that we have people who are giving and supporting our junior faculty. But most importantly, it gives them the time to do their research, and sometimes some extra resources that they would otherwise have. What does the endowed chair mean to the donor themselves? First, it means that they are contributing to the success of the individual who's receiving the gift, and that creates a legacy for the donor in a recognition of the importance of gifting to the success of this individual, who then may pass it on to another individual, or who will bring with them everywhere they go that sign, I am the such and such endowed professor. And that is so important because it not only gives recognition to the donor themselves, but it gives prestige to the person who carries that, and therefore, by extension, prestige to the donor themselves.
We talked about philanthropy for many years, but we really hadn't done anything about it. And when my husband died, my children and I put our heads together and decided that supporting his research, which is in epilepsy and other seizure disorders, would be a good way to honor him and help out.
The power of endowed chairs goes well beyond the money. It's really a statement of someone who values you and values your research to a point that they would make a huge personal investment in seeing that go forward. So for me, that's been Judy Gabor, who was the wife of the Andrew John Gabor, for whom our endowed chair was named. And she is just an incredible inspiration, as was her husband, who was a former chair of neurology at UC Davis. But the fact that she wanted the legacy for her husband to be seeing my work move forward is about as powerful a statement as can be made about how important and how valuable the work I do can be. And it definitely is a huge motivator to keep that work going. I feel a personal obligation to make sure that I use my time in the best possible way to honor both Judy and Dr. Gabor.
Follow your passion or contribute to a particular problem. It's a win-win situation for you, for UCD, and maybe for the world.